Settle down and action.
This was really my sort of first time sitting in the director's chair. Even though I didn't have much of a chair, it was like a stool or something.
One more.
You know, even though you prepare as well as you can, you do your storyboards, you do your shot lists, you talk to all the people involved in it, it's still quite a daunting thing when you haven't done it before. I realised that you just have to be you. I hope it worked. Yeah, nobody's said anything bad to me yet. Maybe they're just being polite.
Why not become a marked one and join our Patreon community? There you can binge the whole series ad-free. Plus, you'll be helping us to make season 3. Thank you.
Episode 2 opens with a flashback scene, and it gave us a few little headaches. My take on it was, we want this sort of player one type thing where you have the hands, you can see the hands, but you can't see the person. So the first time we filmed it, because we filmed it twice, someone had built a very nice little camera mounted on a helmet.
Retreat!
It was supposed to be like a field that had been trampled and stuff with all the armies or whatever, but it was still quite a green field. We got into the edit and I thought, it's not great. Neil called me and said, look, we're doing a day of pickups and I think we should do the battle scene again. And I must admit, there was a sigh of relief and I thought, yeah, completely agreed. Neil had got the farmer to sort of plough the field so it was completely just dirt. And then I started pulling sort of weird stuff. I found a tree stump and I buried it, took in one of the carts that we had used in a different scene, turned it upside down, all that sort of thing. And then the farmer turned up with a huge tractor with a big sort of container of like 500 gallons of water that he just sprayed out all over the place. And then we brought in the extras and they were absolutely brilliant. I mean, some of them rolled around in the mud just to get extra sort of stuff on them. And we also had cast the person whose vision or flashback or dream this is.
Talon is an Mahri who has the spirit before our main character Ren, so exciting times.
And then we attached a GoPro to his chest, so that gave it a whole different sort of feel to it. And it just instantly looked so much better. There was this sort of Game of Thrones type battlefield feel to it.
Get it out of me!
Most of episode 2 takes place in a tavern, the Smoke and Ember, that is in a small village somewhere quite far away from Lingard. Neil had been sort of on the lookout online and he had identified a small place called Little Woodham, close to Portsmouth.
And then she goes that way.
We met the very lovely people who run the place. It's a 17th century sort of reenactment place where they have recreated a lot of houses. They all sort of had that kind of look, that kind of style that would actually match up with our market square from season 1. The first shot we were supposed to do was a little shot of Hunter coming into the tavern. And we were all sort of gearing up for that. I was wandering around and then I can't even remember who it was. Someone came up to me and said, we got a tiny problem. And I was expecting it to be, there's a cable missing or we need another battery for the camera or something. And it turned out that we couldn't find Hunter's costume. So it turns out the costume was at the studio, which was about a 3-hour drive away on a good day.
And action.
So we started shooting all the stuff we could without Hunter. One of the crew members was living quite close to the studio and she managed to persuade her boss to give her the day off. And then she got to the studio, picked up the costume and started the 3-hour drive. And actually it turned out to be not too bad at all. Halfway through lunch, this girl, the hero of the day, turned up with a costume. I think it was a standing ovation from all the cast and crew, and certainly from me. I think just that little hiccup with the costume kind of made everybody just on their game. Everybody just turned up, from makeup, the hair, costume, props, actors, everyone just really stepped up. And it was probably one of the best shoot days of episode 2. So when we see Hunter go into the tavern, the Smoke and Ember, we filmed that in Little Woodham down near Portsmouth. And when we then, in the episode, pick him up in the tavern, that's actually 3 hours away up in Cambridgeshire at the studio. So it was a set build.
This is the barn we're thinking about using for the tavern. What we're thinking is to use mainly this end. The bar would be here.
Rose and her team, set building, did a fantastic job. They added some beams, they put in a new door, they put in fake windows. Yeah, it was, I think we filmed there for 2 days, a day and a half or something, and it just felt right.
I would rotate the camera so it's looking that way.
Let's put the 32 on, please, now.
Let's try and get him, just in case we can see him.
Okay, ready for a camera rehearsal?
So Hunter takes Ren to this place. He's there to meet a middleman to the person who engaged Liana and Hunter to steal the Retha in season 1, basically.
He wouldn't want it now. It's worthless.
This person is called Hestinger, and he's played by Mike Lehane. There's so many details in the costume that tells you something about this character. He's wearing a coat of fabric that, if you imagine it clean and not 20 years old, you know, it would be quite a special coat, like something that a nobleman would wear. So now it's dirty and broken down and stuff like that, and the guy is a lot skinnier than when he was able to fill out this thing because he lived a good life. That's brilliant. And now the tavern is run by a mother-daughter outfit, and Sol is the mother, and she runs the tavern. And for there, I really wanted someone who, first of all, could be this landlady that just with one look could make even the most drunk person in the tavern go, ooh, okay, sorry, I'm gonna go. But also have a vulnerability. And Helen Fullerton, who plays that character, just personified that. The daughter is called Tansy, and she's played by Meg Burley. So in the very first scene, when we see her, we realize that you don't play with her. She can definitely hold her own, and that's important for that character. That says something about that character, and Meg does that really, really well. There's an officer in the Kah'Nath army. I really wanted a very, very strong woman to do that part.
Got a mark. Take her. No!
When Constanza Ruff, when she came into the audition, we had seen the tape, she came in, sat down, we had a little bit of a chat, and if she had just walked out after 10 seconds, I would have given her the part anyway. Because she just was that.
Move out!
Now there's loads of more characters coming up in episode 3 and 4, so stay tuned. We really love doing the show, and we hope you love watching it. And if you want to help out season 3, then please go to the links that are somewhere here on this video. There's merchandise to be had, there's early access to new episodes and all sorts of things. So check it out, please. Anything you can do to help is very much appreciated.